Welcome to our Landry Award preview special as we count down to the presentation of the Landry Award for the 2020 season. I'm Bill Jones, and next Saturday we will present the Landry Award to the top high school football player from the North Texas region. Tonight, we present to you the finalists for the Coach of the Year Award. The Landry Award for Coach of the Year started in 2013, the honor which is selected by the North Texas Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and the Landry Award voting panel is presented to the coach who encourages leadership, selflessness, maturity, and respect. The award exemplifies the Christian values that defined legendary Cowboys coach Tom Landry. Most high school football coaches across North Texas do much more than teach X's and O's. They are father figures, friends, and role models, nurturing their student athletes in an effort to teach them to become responsible adults.
What does it mean to you that this is a Fellowship of Christian Athletes Award?
No, it's huge. I mean, I think that's probably what I'm most proud of. And, you know, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I was involved with it as a player, still involved in it as a coach and trying to get more kids involved, and it's an amazing organization.
Now, past Landry Coach of the Year Award winners include last year's recipient Riley Dodge of South Lake Carroll, Jason Tucker from Halton 2 years ago, Mike DeWitt of Coppell, Brian Brazel at Hebron High School, Randy Jackson then of Grapevine High School, Randy Allen of Highland Park, and Joe McBride, who was head coach at Coppell when he won it in 2013. Since taking over the Denton Ryan football program in 2014, head coach Dave Hennigan has led the Raiders to 5 district championships, 5 unbeaten regular seasons, and a Class 5A state championship appearance last year. And this year, Hennigan and the Raiders avenged their championship game loss last year by winning the Class 5A Division I state title. To make it even sweeter, Coach Hennigan was joined by his son, starting quarterback Seth Hennigan. He's 85-5 the last 6 years. Dave Hennigan, head coach at Denton Ryan High School.
What does it mean to you and to your program that you're a finalist for the Landry Award?
Well, it means a lot. You know, it's not about me. It's a credit to our coaching staff, you know, our administration, certainly our kids, that my name gets to be on it. I've never been a me guy. It's about the team. You know, to be associated with Coach Landry and have your program be associated with an award of this magnitude, I think is huge, just because of all the things that he stood for as a coach, and having a bigger picture and having a bigger influence on young people. But the reality is, for me and for our coaching staff, it's a much bigger thing than winning. It's about winning every day and impacting kids' lives, and I think that's what Coach Landry stood for.
How sweet was that moment when the final seconds ticked off and reality was here, you're state champions?
It was very special. You know, our kids have worked so hard, and you know, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is not just the winning, but just trying to do it the right way. So it's pretty special. The championship is fleeting. Building champions every day is what we're about. And so don't get me wrong, we love that moment, but really it's about more than that. It's about every day pouring into these kids and trying to help them become better men.
Your son, Seth, he quarterbacks the team, winning a state championship, and I guess the next day heads to the University of Memphis, where he's going to play his college football. What are the emotions been like for you this week?
It's been, you know, off the charts, you know, in a lot of ways. You know, you know it's coming, and you try to prepare yourself, and then to go through the state title and to keep him focused, and it's a credit to him to stay focused, you know, knowing he's getting ready to leave, and then play the way he played all year, but then play in that game on the biggest stage, and, you know, as the MVP on offense of the game. You know, we're proud of him as you know, I coach quarterbacks, I call the offense, so he walks through this door right here every day to meet with me for an hour or so. I'm going to miss that terribly, but I'm equally excited for his future, and he's put himself in that position to be a Division I quarterback, and so I'm excited for what his future holds as well.
We stay north of the Metroplex for our next Landry Award Coach of the Year finalist, Bill Elliott, the athletic director and head football coach at Class 4A Division II Salina High School. The storied Bobcats football program finished second in District 4 4A Division II this season. The Bobcats only played 3 district games due to COVID-19, but Salina gelled in the playoffs with a 4-game playoff run. Keith Russell talked with Bill Elliott about being a finalist for the 2020 Landry Coach of the Year Award.
What does it mean to you right off the bat to be a finalist for Coach of the Year for the Landry Award?
You know, it's such a humbling thing, you know. And I got the phone call last week, you know, growing up in this area, being a Dallas Cowboys fan my entire life, and I was a kid. Dad and I always watched all the Cowboy games. Coach Landry was coaching, and just the man that he was, the example he was of what a Christian coach who did things the right way. You know, he was a great example, you know, for us, for coaches. And then in college, actually getting to work at a couple of FCA events that Coach Landry spoke at, and I was speaking at, and to get to meet him, you know, face to face, it was just very special. So it's a huge honor for me, very humbling. I don't really think I'm deserving of it, because I know so many great coaches out there that really, you know, do so much for their athletes and kids, you know, in their communities. And so it is a great honor, and, you know, very excited about it.
Coach, one of the things that, you know, for me and broadcasting, you know, I had my role models and my pioneers and the people where they were larger than life. Is that how you would describe Coach Landry when it came to you pursuing a career in coaching? Oh, for sure. You know, just, you know, being able to watch him as a kid, you know, just, and the Cowboys and just everything that he did, the mystique that he had, everything about him, the man he was. And then, you know, through a lot of FCA things that I did, getting to learn more about him, the kind of man he really was, and how he was with his family, how he was with, you know, his players and other coaches, and what he did for coaches in Texas, you know, just the example he set for us and the things that he did. So, yeah, he's one of those guys you look to, you know, he's one of the dudes, you know, when you think about, you know, us older guys that know the old dudes, and he was a dude, you know, he was one of those guys that did things the right way. What is the biggest message, besides X's and O's, that you tell all the kids who come through your wonderful program? Our whole objective of our program, every year I stress this to my coaches, I'm constantly stressing it to them, is we want to be an example for our kids. We want them to see what a real man is, not what our world says a man is, or what the movies or everything you see on TV, but what a real man is in life, and how we live our life and what we do. And we want to teach those qualities, you know, to our kids. And we want to teach them about discipline, about integrity, you know, about honor, about honesty, about grit, having grit in their life. And that's kind of what our whole purpose is in our program. I think if you do those things, then the winning takes care of itself in the long run. If you'll teach those, you know, those characteristics to our young men that we're wanting to get to them.
So we've met two of the finalists, Salina's Bill Elliott and Denton Ryan's Dave Hennigan. And still ahead, we continue our profiles on the finalists for the Landry Coach of the Year Award as our special preview of the Landry Award show continues.
Coach of the Year winner. How about we all give a nice round of applause for Highland Park High School coach Randy Allen.
It's no secret that Randy Allen can coach. He's won 4 state titles during his 2 decades at Highland Park. You might not be aware, though, of Allen's hidden talents. At the Landry Award ceremony 6 years ago, we were able to pull back the curtain. In addition to receiving the Coach of the Year trophy, we put a guitar in Coach Allen's hands, and he did not hesitate to rock the room.
I need a pick. Come on, come on. It's a rock and roll record, one my jock used to play.
Doing his best Gary Patterson impersonation there. You know, Carlos Lynn wrapped up his 4th season as head coach of the Cedar Hill Longhorns with a trip to AT&T Stadium for the Class 6A Division II state championship game. The Longhorns were looking for their 4th state title in the last 15 years when they took on perennial power Katy High School in the title game. The Longhorns, led by Landry Award finalist quarterback Caden Salter, a season to remember for Landry Coach of the Year finalist Carlos Lynn of Cedar Hill.
Another great honor. You know, you would like to think that what you're doing is making a difference, and when other people see that, and even when they don't see it, you know, you would like to think the things that you're doing is having some type of impact.
Coach Lynn is just one amazing man. You know, he's taught us so much, from, you know, being a man ourselves to football as well. he does everything that he needs to do as a coach and as a human being as well.
He get us prepared for football and what's after football and the life after football.
Hey, stop there walking, Baker. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, walk.
And that's what the Tom Landry Award is about. It's about the people that you touch, not necessarily, you know, in the manner of being a football coach, but just being a human being. And I think that human decency is something that we need a lot of. We need to see a lot of, you know, in these days and times that we're living in. So that lets me know that I'm on the right track.
He's more of a father figure, in my opinion. He likes to drop a lot of mental nuggets for us. To be growing into men.
I mean, Coach Land, he loves everybody on the team. He treats us all like he's our father. And I mean, some people out here don't have a father, so Coach Land is really their father.
Coach Landry was a character man. You know, not what you do in front of the camera, not what you're doing when the lights are on you, but how you lived your life, and that was important. That was important to him, and I think this award, you know, kind of exemplifies that how you live your life. You can't fake that. You can't manufacture that. That's just got to be the essence of who you are.
From Cedar Hill, we head west to Tarrant County to Martin High School in southwest Arlington, where the Martin Warriors of head coach Bob Wager had perhaps their best team ever this year. They beat Louisville High School by an astounding score of 68-0 in the second round of the playoffs and played eventual state finalist South Lake Carroll right down to the wire on Christmas Eve night before falling in the regional semifinals. He's one of the most respected coaches in Texas. Landry Award Coach of the Year finalist Bob Wager of Arlington Martin High School.
What does it mean to you to be a finalist for the Landry Award?
Well, it's a great honor, and I'm thankful for it. Our community, our team, our whole coaching staff, we're thrilled to be a part of it. I think when you talk about postseason honors and you attach the great Coach Tom Landry's name to it, it's something that we all aspire to annually.
I see behind you there the slogan, "We will." I think it kind of typifies that Martin program.
Well, I appreciate that. This was such a unique experience, but when you go back to March of 2020 and everybody thought, oh, great, we get an extra week of spring break, nobody had any idea what we were heading into. I think it was one of the darkest times in our country's history. You know, not only were we dealing with a pandemic that we didn't understand, that had everybody very anxious and concerned, but we also endured, you know, one of the biggest humanity issues that we've ever had in our country. And to not have the opportunity to be around our team every day, to not be able to address those things which we would normally do, made it a great challenge. And so it was very rewarding to have the opportunity to spend every day with them from June 8th on.
Isn't that one of the beautiful things about sports?
Well, there's no question. You know, I block for you and you block for me, and that's the only thing that matters. And I will tell you that if our society could spend a little more time inside of a high school football locker room, I think we'd all be better off.
You've had a couple of players that have been finalists for this award, and you're very familiar with the Landry Award, and you've been active in recommending players. What does this award, you think, mean for the North Texas high school community?
I think what most people think it means is on the field excellence, which certainly is exemplified by Coach Landry. I may have a little deeper perspective. I think it's all encompassing. It's character, it's leadership, it's being the very best human being that you can. And as my mother taught me a long time ago, and she said, Bobby, it's all about how you treat people. And so to me, this award is about being a great teammate, about making your community a better place, and then, oh, by the way, playing like your hair's on fire.
Arlington Martin, a school that has produced a Landry Award winner in the past, defensive end Myles Garrett, now the highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL. Still ahead, we introduce you to the 5th and 6th finalists for the Landry Coach of the Year Award as our special preview of the Landry Award continues. Our fifth and sixth finalists for the Landry Award Coach of the Year are a couple of coaches who led their programs to undefeated regular seasons and playoff appearances. In 2020, the Colleyville Heritage Panthers and head coach Kirk Martin navigated their way through the season with a 6-0 record on their way to winning the district title. Despite having some scheduling issues due to the pandemic early in the season, the Panthers made an impressive run in the playoffs, advancing to the third round before losing to Mansfield Summit in overtime. Head coach Kirk Martin explains the impact that Coach Landry had on him.
Tom Landry is the epitome of coaching, in my opinion, because he really did it to make a difference in his players' lives, and so to have my name even associated with his is just really an honor, because he's certainly been a hero of mine for a long time.
Well, what about this season? Your first year at Colleyville, and you advanced deep into the playoffs. You have a terrific season, but there had to be some very unique challenges along the way, especially your first year on the job there.
Yeah, certainly. Just how are we going to give them water? I mean, that was probably one of the biggest concerns. That it was just really a strange year. It was a challenge, but our kids rose to that challenge and had a really good year. The first undefeated district championship at Colleyville, and we go 3 rounds deep.
Tell me a little bit about what sort of the makeup was of your team as far as their leadership and so forth to advance that far in the playoffs.
I was new, and I didn't get to have spring, and so they didn't know much about me. We had a really good summer program, and so that was huge for them to all buy into that. We got FCA rolling, and I think that helped our leadership more than anything else. It's hard to really get that true bond from a guy that's just coming in. But man, they bought into everything I was selling, and mostly I was selling love. I really think it's important that we love each other, and that players, loved each other and loved their coaches, and coaches love the kids. And, I'm not into degrading and demeaning kids. I want them to play hard for us because they love us. They don't want to disappoint us, not because they're scared of us. And so just selling that culture, and I believe it really did make a difference, and hopefully we made a difference in their lives and gave them a great season to remember, and hopefully that'll continue to grow.
Kirk Martin with a stellar first season in Colleyville after taking Manville High School to a state title appearance 3 years ago before spending a couple of years as an assistant at Syracuse University. And last but not least, we conclude our look at the 6 finalists for the Landry Award Coach of the Year with Lonnie Jordan of Lake Highlands High School. The Wildcats were unbeaten district champions this season, going 10-0 in the regular season. Keith Russell talked to Lonnie Jordan about being a finalist for the Coach of the Year Award.
How does it feel to be a finalist for the Coach of the Year for the Landry Award?
Oh, my goodness. It's absolutely humbling. What an incredible honor to be nominated for this, and then, to be a finalist. It's incredible honor. Very blessed.
What was the first thing that came to your mind when you were informed?
Oh, well, it was utter shock, first of all. But then, you start thinking about Tom Landry and what it means. And, you think of Tom Landry and what he stood for and what he did for this game. It's certainly, I tell you what, it's inspiring. Just to be in this group inspires you to continue, to do the right thing and to, show up with a plan to make these kids better every day.
How much of a challenge was this year?
Oh, it was a tremendous challenge. And even now in the off season, it continues, to be a challenge. But everything that you think or everything that you've learned about coaching, you can, this year we had to throw it out the window. We had no spring football. We had limited to no contact with our kids during the summer. Really, you just kind of had to roll with the punches, and I think our staff did a good job of that. But it was difficult, and I'm ready to get back to some normalcy. Hopefully, that's right around the corner.
What was the biggest thing you learned during this past year, and possibly that your team learned as one unit?
We feel like we created or provided, you know, a really good high school football experience for our seniors. And that's the ultimate goal, is that when they leave here, and again, I'd love to hoist a state championship trophy, and hopefully someday soon we'll do that. But did our kids have a great experience? Did they get an opportunity to build relationships with their coaches and teammates and fight through some adversity together? And we were able to do all that, both COVID and the teams we played. And so I think all in all, we learned that regardless of what's going on around you, we can still, in our bubble, we can create an experience that's good for kids.
Here is the list of the 6 finalists for the 2020 Coach of the Year Award. Bill Elliott, Salina High School. Dave Hennigan, Denton Ryan High School. Lonnie Jordan of Lake Highlands High School. Carlos Lynn of Cedar Hill. Kirk Martin from Colleyville Heritage. And Bob Waker of Arlington Martin High School. Once more, we'd like to congratulate the 6 finalists for the 2020 Coach of the Year Award. Bill Elliott of Salina High School, Dave Hennigan from state champion Denton Ryan, Lonnie Jordan of Lake Highlands, Carlos Lynn of Cedar Hill, Kirk Martin from Colleyville Heritage, and Bob Waker of Arlington Martin High School. And next Saturday, we will reveal the winner of both the Coach of the Year Award and the Landry Award for the Player of the Year. The 5 finalists for the Landry Player of the Year Award: Quinn Ewers of South Lake Carroll, Ralph Rucker of Lucas Lovejoy, Eli Stowers of Denton Geyer High School, Caden Salter of Cedar Hill High School, and JoJo Earl of Aledo High School. We thank you for watching the Landry Award special. We'll see you again next week when we will honor all the finalists and reveal the 2020 winner of the Landry Award. Have a great weekend and a great week, everybody.